The Morning Sports Desk, available on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and WadenaRadio.com.
It is the Morning Sports Desk, another installment on our state tournament preview special. I'm CJ Baumgartner, joined by Parkers Prairie Panther head football coach Mike Johnson, joining us on the Morning Sports Desk. Mike, first of all, thanks for joining. Congrats on back-to-back Section 6A champions. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, thank you. It really does. Kids worked hard this year. It's been a fun year so far.
Something I said back when we did the previews at the beginning of the season, way back in August, and something kind of talked about over the weekend was you guys went 20 years, 2003 to 2023, in between state tournament appearances. And I said all year long, you guys are bound and determined to make sure that there was not a 20-year gap in between. How fun was that with the expectation all year long that you guys could get to the state tournament, and it's been done before, and that you could kind of get back and do it again?
Yeah, I think it's just really built some confidence in our team, that a lot of those guys played in these experiences, played in the section tournament, played in the state tournament. And that's something that we did talk about, this hasn't been done in this long, and how, how awesome is that to be able to be a part of something like that. And this has been a lot of years of hard work, and some of these kids were around when we struggled and when we were, trying to turn the ship around. And so, to see those guys be able to see some, success that we've had this year it's been really fun. And the kind of the, last year was so much of, the excitement of, we could do this. And this year was more of, we're going to do this again. And, we've been there and we really want to, reach this spot again. So it's been fun.
Yeah, and we'll take kind of a look at the season and how you guys got here. But first, let's start with that Section 6A championship game. You play a team in West Central area. They got some guys that can do some stuff on offense, some big playmakers. They had a big play here and there, but for the most part, and especially when we turned into the second half, you guys dominated, whether it was time of possession, big runs. I mean, just what was it about your team that was working well in that section championship game Friday night?
Yeah, it was really, our boys executed the game plan really well. And, being able to, have more time of possession, be able to put points on the board early. We had some nice long drives, 8-9 plays, and kept it away from some of their really good playmakers out there. And I don't know, it's, this postseason is really kind of, the boys have really just turned it up a notch. It's been really fun. They've just been coming out with more juice and more energy and just that, the belief and confidence that they've been having in themselves. And so, both, defensively and offensively, on Friday, it was fun to see the game plan go as we wanted it to. And, we were able to make some plays and against a really good West Central team.
Yeah, Ruckheim's the guy that comes to mind. He had some of those big runs, and it's something that I'm sure you guys probably talked about in August is you do the dives because they set up the sweeps, and you do the sweeps because they set up the reverse. Yep. Obviously, with Joe Johnson running it up the middle, you guys got some yards. Basil does what he does, getting it to the outside. Then you had that reverse with Ruckheim. He was able to rattle off a few big touchdowns in that game. What does that speak to just the depth of how much you guys have on offense?
Yeah, we talk about things about, okay, everybody's keen on, X, Y, and Z. And so some of those things that are open to us, we need to capitalize when we have those opportunities. And, fortunately for us, West Central obviously keyed on Basil to stop him, which, pulled some people to his side and the line blocked it up well. And Isaac just, he answered the call when he was, his number was called, and he, it's kind of been a long time coming. He's made some of these really nice plays, but Friday was a really good opportunity, good time to showcase some of his talent too. And that's the hard thing with, defending the wing T offense is, you try to make everything look so similar that you let those kids, screw up on defense, and you have to be there to take advantage of that when you get those chances. So
let's kind of go back to the beginning of the year. You guys start out 4-0. You don't allow a touchdown on defense. Your one touchdown you allowed was a pick six. That happens, whatever. For the first 4 weeks of the season, you guys are rolling. And if you look at the schedule, you guys go 1-3 in the Final Four. And, to some people outside looking in, if they're not paying attention, maybe raises an eyebrow. But I think with everybody who's followed this team all along, you kind of look, you have the misstep against Breckenridge, play a couple good 2A schools in Staples, Motley, and Pillager. Just talk about in that second half of the year, things weren't going your way. What were those conversations like with your team, and how did you guys kind of pull together and get that section title defense back in full force?
Well, each week we talk about playing our best game, that week. So, hey, this is our opportunity to have our best game of the season. And, going through that 3-game losing streak, we talked to the kids about, hey, this is either something that you can learn from and figure out, like, okay, you're playing really good teams right now. They're exposing some of the things that you do well and some of the things that you don't do well. And so we had to, take those opportunities as saying, okay, this is a state, state contender in Staples Motley. This is a state contender in Pillager. These are 2 really good AA schools who are going to make a run in the postseason. And you guys have showed that you can do some really good things. And, so we tried to kind of, set it up to be more of a, the score didn't go in our favor. But we got better because of it. We got better because we learned some things that we needed to get better at in order to make a run. And we, were able to double down on some of the things that we were doing well against some of those quality opponents. And so, I think for our team, it's just about the mindset of it. It was a rough 3 weeks. I mean, it's hard to lose but that's something that we preach to our kids all the time about. It's about how you respond and it's about how you answer back. And, that last game against Pine River Bacchus, that was really fun. And the kids answered and just kind of had a hot hand since. So.
Yeah, and, something at the end of the year, you played a section team in Pine River Bacchus. You started off the postseason run. I know they played 9-man all year, but Ashby, Brand, and Evansville kicked up. That's a team that you guys are familiar with in other sports and things like that. Obviously, good rivalry with those schools there. Then you play Breckenridge, a team that you guys have, fell to earlier in the year. So there's a little bit of a rivalry there. You play West Central Area. That's the section title game. Now you play a team in the first round of the state tournament that in other sports you're pretty familiar with in Upsala, Swanville area. Just talk about the matchup that those guys bring and the unique opportunity for you guys to play a school that you have a little bit of familiarity with, just, kind of by the transitive property.
Yeah. Parkers was in Section 4 with USA and all those teams for quite a few years. And so, we know that USA has got a really long history of being a strong football program. They always have great numbers, great coaches, and they do a really nice job with their program. And, I think one of the things with these kids nowadays is that they know everybody. They follow each other on social media. They keep track of people, and they know a lot of these kids. They play, summer ball with a couple of them, and so there's some familiarity as far as just knowing those kids and having some competition in other sports together. And so, it's exciting to play, what we kind of consider another local football program. And, we get to play them in the scrimmage in the beginning of the season. And so, they are a very talented football team. They've been putting in a lot of points on the board, and they've been really tough defensively. And so, it's going to be a big challenge for us, and it's something that the kids are super excited for. And it's a little bit different style than what we've seen previously this season, and so that's a challenge that we're excited to kind of take on.
And last question for you here: Parkers Prairie gets to the state semifinal game. They get to US Bank Stadium. They get to do all that. If what happens?
If we continue to kind of come out how we have the last few weeks, the last few games where we were able to move the chains and control the time of possession and not shooting ourselves in the foot, and not allowing really big plays, that's going to be the key to success and to moving on, not just for us, but for anybody. If you can kind of control the things you can control and keep the ball away from some of those good offenses that are here now this time of season, it's it's going to come down to just kind of doing the little things the right way and playing your best football game of the season when it's your chance. So
we're talking with Parkers Prairie Panther head football coach Mike Johnson joining us on the morning sports desk. Coach, appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on and giving us a little sneak preview into your team's season and this state tournament game. Best of luck, and we hope to be talking with you again next week.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
The Morning Sports Desk, available on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and WadenaRadio.com.